Hello!
Hi everyone!
We're going to start today with our thank you slot. So if you want to share anything that you've really enjoyed in the last week or something that you're really excited about, now is your opportunity to share with your class.
Ellie and I are both feeling thankful because we've had our first COVID jabs. So what have you got to be thankful for? Please press pause and have a little share.
So hopefully you've had some great things to share and be thankful for. We've got another question for you now. What would you do if suddenly you found that you were the king or the queen of our country? What would you do with that title and that power? We'd like you to press pause again and to share your ideas with each other.
So I wonder if you had things that you agreed on and things where you had different ideas about what you would do with that power and that responsibility. In our Bible story this week, we're going to hear about two best friends called Jonathan and David. So let's watch that story now.
This is Jonathan.
Hey!
Who was the son of King Saul and a warrior in Israel's army. This is David,
Hey!
who would later become the king of Israel.
Huh?
After David defeated a great giant, he was brought before King Saul and he met Jonathan. They immediately became friends,
Yeah!
and Jonathan made a pact with David and showed him that by giving David his robe and weapons.
Oh, hang on.
From that time on, David was successful in all he did,
Oh!
and King Saul became jealous of David and very angry. Saul wanted his servants and Jonathan to get rid of David, but because Jonathan loved his friend David, he warned David of what his father was planning.
All right.
Jonathan went to his father, King Saul, and talked him out of harming David.
Okay.
For a time, David was safe from King Saul's plans,
Phew.
but not long after, the king's jealousy and anger came back, and he tried to kill David.
Whoa!
David got away, and his friend Jonathan came to help him.
Hang on there.
Jonathan tried again to talk his father out of hurting David.
No.
But now King Saul was convinced he needed David to be gone. Jonathan was angry and sad that his father would not let his friend go, and he knew that David would have to go into hiding and run from King Saul. Jonathan met David one last time, and the two cried and said their goodbyes. Jonathan told David to go in peace and that they had a special bond in God's name. Then David left and lived a life on the run from King Saul, and Jonathan returned to the town. Even though they were separated, the two were the best of friends and were an encouragement to one another.
Yeah!
So David and Jonathan were best friends, but their friendship faced a real challenge, didn't it? Let's remind ourselves what that challenge was, and at the same time, we're going to check whether you were listening. So here's a first question for you. Who was the king in our story? That's right, it was King Saul. Ellie's got another question for you.
Now, Jonathan and David were best friends. But how did Jonathan's dad get on with David? That's right, not very well. Saul was threatened by David's success and popularity, almost a bit jealous.
Can you remember how bad it got? That's right, Saul even tried to kill David more than once.
But even when things were really bad, Jonathan didn't desert his friend David, did he? He was a loyal friend even when his own dad was trying to harm David. Jonathan was a loyal friend, and good friends are loyal. Loyal means that you stick by each other and care for each other no matter what.
Now at this point, I have to make a confession. Jonathan is my favourite person in the Bible. other than Jesus. I think he's just such a dude. So let me tell you why I think he's so great. And for me, it's all about his humility and loyalty. Let me remind you again, who was Jonathan's dad? That's right, his dad was King Saul. That means that Jonathan was the crown prince. He was the heir to the throne, a bit like Prince Charles is to our queen. So who was supposed to be the next king when Saul died? It's Jonathan, isn't it? He's the crown prince. So if David becomes king, who's going to miss out? That's right, it's Jonathan. If you think about it, Jonathan would have grown up all his life knowing that he was special, that one day he would be king. And then along comes David and God reveals that he has another plan. And I think Jonathan is absolutely amazing because he's loyal to his friend David, even when he knows it means he won't be king himself. Now that's what I call humble and loyal.
So what can we learn from Jonathan's example? Well, at the start of our assembly, we got you to think about what you would do if you were king or queen of our country. Now, unless we've missed something really important, we don't think any of you are related to the royal family. As far as we know, none of you are crown princes or princesses. But you will have some really good friendships. And sometimes, like Jonathan and David, you might have a time when that friendship will be challenged. So you're in a football team together with you and your best friend are in your football team, and one of you gets picked to play for the match, but you're just the substitute. Or you're in a dance team and one of you is picked to go to the team competition and one of you isn't.
You do some artwork and your friend's art is put on the display, but yours isn't. Or maybe there's something at school that you find really tricky. You really have to work hard at it, and your friend just seems to find it easy. You could get annoyed. You could get jealous. You could be tempted to give in. But good friends are loyal and stick by each other. Jonathan and David never let these things come between them. They don't let King Saul separate them or spoil their friendship. And they don't let the fact that David will be the new king spoil their friendship either.
Good friends are loyal. Later, when David did become king, he never forgot the loyalty and the care that Jonathan showed him. David went on to be a great king. He was, get ready, the great 13 greats grandfather of Jesus. But for us, Jonathan was a great man too, because he was the humblest and most loyal of friends.
We're going to sing a new song now, but hopefully you'll pick up the words quickly. They'll be on the screen. And there are also some simple actions, some dance moves that I'm sure you'll pick up too. This song reminds us that, like for Jonathan and David, sometimes life can be a bit messy, but God is with us and he wants to help us.
God, you are the best. You don't make mistakes. Yeah, you don't make mistakes. And when things are a mess, you always know the way. You always know the way. You are perfect every single day, in every single way. I don't have to worry. You're perfect when I don't know what to do. Yes, I know it's true. I don't have to worry. You're perfect. Yeah, I know you are. Perfect. Yeah, I know you are. God, you so I don't have to worry. You're perfect, and I don't know what to do. Yes, I know it's true. I don't have to worry. You're perfect. Yeah, I know you are. Perfect. Yeah, I know you are. You check it out. Perfect.
So we're coming to the end of this video, but let's do a quick recap of the last few weeks. So we've been thinking all about friendship. Good friends care. Can you remember the 4 men who even ripped a hole in someone's roof, which would have probably left them with a big bill, to make sure that they could get their paralyzed friend to Jesus? Good friends argue, but then they make things right. Can you remember that Paul and Barnabas last week, they had a big argument, didn't they? But they made it right. And good friends are loyal and stick by each other. So let's pray. Dear God, thank you so much for loving us and being with us all day long.
Thank you for the people in our lives who care for us.
Please help us to look out for other people and care for them. Amen. Dear God, help us to make good decisions, to be the best learners we can be. Give us plenty of opportunities and let us cherish them.
Help us to be kind, sharing and loving, and to treat everyone equally. Help us to care for the wonderful environment we live in, as well as others and ourselves, while giving us the power to conquer life's challenges.
Help us to be grateful and not greedy. Thank you for all the happiness and joy you bring us.
Amen. Thanks for watching.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.